In today's video, you're going to learn how to create a portrait effect using a Grand Canyon image and turn it into this. So you can use this with any type of portrait image and also use any type of landscape images, painting images. I've also used clouds before, but in this example, I'm just going to use these two images right here. So this is actually really simple to do, and if you watch until the end of the video, you'll learn all the steps from start to finish. So let's get started. So if you wanted to follow along with this tutorial, I'll leave a link to both of these images in the description below. But you can also use your own portrait and your own images if you wanted to. So I'm going to right click and copy this image, and let's go into Photoshop and click on Create New or go into File, New. And this window will open up right here. So Photoshop will automatically pick up the width and the height of the image that you just copied. All you need to do is just change the resolution to 300. So when you change it to 300 pixels per inch, the resolution will come out quite high if you actually print out the image. And let's say you're making an image for a website, then you should just leave the resolution at 72. Then it won't slow down the website. So I'm just going to leave this at 300 and click on Create. And I'm going to press Ctrl V or Command V if you're on a Mac to paste the image. You can also go up to Edit and click on Paste right here. Next, let's go into the next image, which is the image of the Grand Canyon. So right click and copy the image, and let's paste that in as well. So we're going to be working a lot with layers right here. So if you don't see this layers panel, go into Windows and click on layers right here. So you'll see this layers panel right here. So I'm just going to rename this layer by double clicking on it, and I'll just name it Portrait. And I'll rename this one to Grand Canyon. So simply just double click on it and just type in the name that you want. So now let's create an extra copy of this portrait layer. Well, before I actually do that, I just want to hide this image of the Grand Canyon. So to hide it, just click on this little eye icon next to that layer, and that just hides it. So to create an extra copy of this layer, just simply click and drag this into the new layer icon right here. That's right next to the bin icon, and it will create an extra copy. So I'm going to hide the original copy. And usually I just keep the original copy so we can go back to it if we make a mistake. So choose this first copy right here. That's the first copy layer, and go into Image, Adjustment, and click on Threshold. So what this effect does is it just turns the image into a black and white image. So there's no gray, there's no color, it's just black and white. And you can play around with this graph, and you can see you can kind of make it more white or make it more black. I'm going to kind of leave it just about here, so just where we can kind of see her hair. And let's click on OK. So that looks nice and detailed now. So now next you go into the magic wand tool right here. So if you don't see this magic wand tool, just click and hold, and there'll be a few options there. Just click on the magic wand tool right here. So what this tool does is it just selects anything that's the same color that you click on. So I'm right here on the portrait copy right here. So if I click on black, it's going to select everything else that is also black. But if this doesn't happen to you, make sure you have contagious clicked off. So if you have this clicked on, this is what happens. So it's only going to select the parts of the blacks that just around the black colors that I've clicked on. So it hasn't selected these black colors here, not these black colors here, only the ones that I've kind of clicked on just around the same area. So if I click here, it's only going to select this area. If I click here, it's only going to select the lips area. But if I click on off contagious right here at the top, and I click on a black color, it's going to select everything that's black within that layer. So that's called the magic wand tool. So now I'm going to hide this portrait copy layer. So now we have just the selection. So now let's create another copy of the Grand Canyon layer. So I'm going to click and drag this into the new layer icon, and I'm going to reveal this copy layer of the Grand Canyon. So what I want is the Grand Canyon, the image, to be just within the selection. So to do that, we're going to click on the masking tool right here. So what the masking tool does is it just keeps everything that's selected and it hides everything that's not selected. So make sure you're on the Grand Canyon copy layer and just click on the masking tool right here. That's the little circle and the square icon. So now we have this nice cool looking effect. So I'm just going to rename this to 100%. So the reason I'm naming it 100% is I'm naming it after the opacity of each layer. So the next layer we'll call it 75%, and you'll know why soon. So now let's go back to the original portrait layer again, and we're going to create another copy, and I'm going to reveal it this time. So this is what it looks like right now, because the Grand Canyon layer is on top of it. So we're going to leave that as it is, and we're going to choose the portrait copy 2 layer now. And again, just like before, we're going to go into image, adjustments, and we're going to click on threshold. And this time we're going to make sure the black just comes out just a little bit further out, so we can just see it right here. So I think that looks good. And now choose the magic wand tool again and choose the black color, and make sure contagious is turned off. And just like before, we're going to create another copy of the Grand Canyon layer, and we're going to reveal it. And just like before again, we're going to click on the masking tool again. So now here's the effect, but I want this one to be at an opacity level of 75%. And let's hide this portrait copy 2 layer right here. And now you can see the effect starting to come through. So that's looking good so far. Now you need to do this again until you get to 50% and 25%. So far we've got 100% and we've got 75% right here. So let's just rename this to 75%. So that looks good. Now again, I'm going to click and drag this into the new copy of the portrait layer. Let's reveal it, and let's go into image, adjustments, threshold. And I'll make this come out a little bit further. So make sure the black just comes out so you can actually see it, but not too much, just about there. Click on OK, and let's choose the magic wand tool, choose all of the black colors. Let's hide this portrait layer now. Create an extra copy of the original Grand Canyon layer and reveal it by clicking on the eye icon, and then click on the masking box, add layer mask right there. And then again, we're going to reduce the opacity down to 50%. So now let's do this one more time now. So let's just rename this before we do that to 50%. So I just like to keep all of these layers named so we can actually organize everything and we know where everything is. And so let's do this one more time. So create another copy of the original portrait layer, reveal it, and click on the copy of the new portrait layer. Go into image, adjustments, threshold, and we're going to increase it just where we can actually see the black color, just about there. So I think that looks good. And we're going to click on the black color with the magic wand tool, and let's create an extra copy, reveal this, and let's click on the mask tool and make this to 25%. So right now you can't see anything because it's at 100%. So when you reduce it down to 25%, now you can actually see the face now, but you can't really see the face clearly. So let me just rename this to 25%. So you can't really see the face clearly. So what you need to do is kind of flip the images around. So what do I mean by that? So right here in these layers, you can see this little clip icon. So if I choose the 100% layer and I press Control T or Command T if you're on a Mac, you can also just go edit and click on free transform. So what we can do, so when you press Control T or Command T, it's going to give you these controls. So if I just try to flip this, it's going to flip the entire image. So, but what I want is the selection to be there, but I just want the Grand Canyon to flip. So let me just undo all of that, and you'll know what I mean when I actually do it. So if you click on this little clip icon, it just disappears. So make sure the clip icon is gone, and then click on the Grand Canyon image in that layer, and then now try to flip the image. So press Control T or Command T if you're on a Mac, and now watch what happens. The selection stays the same, but the image inside the selection flips. So that's a really nice, cool looking effect, which is quite useful because we're going to use this to kind of flip the image around so we can actually kind of see the portrait a little bit more. So let's flip this one a little bit more. So I'm trying to make the eyes a bit here, a bit more darker, so we can actually see the eyes and the mouth a little bit more. Let's flip this way and hit enter. Once you're kind of happy with the angle of the image, and you need to kind of play around with this until you kind of get that right effect. So let's make sure you clip that icon off. So make sure the clip icon is gone. Click on this box right here, not this box, but this box. Press Ctrl T or Command T, and then flip it around. So that looks good so far. And let's do that for this one, for the 50% layer. Let's flip this one around as well. So that looks good. And let's also do that for this one. So for this one, I'll actually flip it around the other way maybe. You can actually try different angles and all of that. So that also looks good. Another thing you can also do is make it a little bit bigger. So maybe just go back to the 100% layer. We can kind of slightly make it a little bit larger here and there. So maybe the 100% layer is quite large. And as it gets smaller, as the opacity goes down, then maybe the image gets a little bit smaller. So that might be a cool looking effect as well. So you just need to kind of play around with this until the portrait actually comes out. So flip it around, make it bigger, make it smaller, but don't distort the image too much. So let's flip this one this way as well. So I'm still trying to get those eyes to come out a little bit more. So I want the dark parts here to come out just a little bit more. So let's just kind of, oops, deselect that. Let's just kind of move that around here. There we go. So I think that's starting to come out just a bit more now. Let me just make that a bit bigger. That looks better. And let's also make this a little bit bigger here as well. So again, it's just Control T or Command T to kind of get these controls, and then just flip them around and move them around. So this is like a really nice, cool looking effect, and you can get really creative with this, with many different portraits, different types of portraits, and all of that. So far that looks good. Let's try also so this lips part is a bit too dominant right here, so maybe I could play around with that a little bit more. Oh, okay, that looks much better now. So now we can actually see it a lot better. Now it actually looks like a hair is kind of coming out here and there. So now you just need, so that's what you do, is kind of keep playing around with it more and more until you can kind of get that right effect. And now you can take this even further. So you can actually add more colors in here if you wanted to. So if you want to learn about adjusting colors on Photoshop, I've got a detailed video on that. I'll leave a link to that in the description below, but I'll go over the basics of it in this video. So right here, there's this little circle icon. And if you click on selective color, and you can actually choose the color that you want to change. So let's say you want to change the reds in this image. You can choose reds. If it's the yellows, you can choose the yellows. So let's just try the reds, and you just need to play around with these graphs right here. So make this higher, make this lower. So that looks pretty cool. It's nice and red. Probably a bit too pinkish for me, but let's try. Okay, that looks quite good there, but it's kind of lost the Grand Canyon image. I think that's a bit too intense now. But what you can do is just kind of hide this now, see which one you liked before. So is it this or this? So I think I like just the original image as it is. But you can try the yellows. So let's try changing up the yellows a little bit. Oops, let me just reveal that there. So let me just actually, let me just delete all of this, the selective color layer. Let's just start from scratch, and let's only try to change the yellows to. So I think that looks pretty cool so far. So just move these kind of bars here and there and see which one looks good. So I actually think that the yellows, adjusting the yellows actually makes it look a little bit better, because it kind of looks like a Vincent van Gogh yellowish color. So you can get really creative with this. I've done paintings instead of like Grand Canyon. I've taken paintings and I've put that over portraits. I've also taken underwater images. I've taken clouds and I've used that on portraits, and it's just a really nice, cool looking effect that you could try out on Photoshop. So if you have any questions, make sure you comment down below. Make sure you hit that like button and also hit the subscribe and the notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload my next video. So let me know in the comments below what videos you guys want me to make. I know it's been a while since I made a video. It's been over 3 months, and I'm planning to upload consistently to this channel now. And let me know what you guys want. Do you want I'm thinking about making 3D videos on how to create 3D objects or 3D images with Blender, which is a free software. I'm also thinking about creating how to create animation videos, design videos, like design theories, how to use grid systems and web design and all of that. So just let me know anything that you guys want in the comments below, and I'm happy to make a video on that. So I'll see you in the next video.